you guys are not getting Christmas cards. Coal for every one of you. So what I planned on showing you in the garden was this. For my first fall garden, I was so excited to show you the broccoli. The Swiss chard is still going to town, and it is still going to town. I've got cauliflower coming up, and I planted up, everybody in the family loves broccoli, and I planted a ton of broccoli. Super excited to be able to give everybody a whole bunch of it. That was last week. This week, yeah, you too, s'mores. This week, this is what I get to show you. Where I don't have enough broccoli for everybody. Where the chickens finally figured out what the garden is about. I wouldn't be so proud of it, s'mores. I can't do this again. I cried. I cried. And if you can't tell today, I'm a little upset. I was not expecting them to come in here and just devastate most of my broccoli, pull out my green onions, trash my kale, and other things that they devastated that tore up bulbs that I had, and just unexpected. Now, so I'm sure some of you are saying, what took them so long? I don't know. This is the first fall garden I've ever done. Maybe they like broccoli and kale. I don't know. But I got to tell you, with us expanding, heading out further, probably another half size of our garden again, maybe more next year. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I originally thought I would put fishing line high enough above. I'm short, so high enough above that I could hang some shiny stuff off of it, like tinsel or DVDs or CDs or whatever. But with this making the garden bigger, I don't know about that. Perhaps row covers on every single raised bed once I plant something for the fall. I can't do that during the summer, and now I'm afraid that since they made it into the garden here at fall and they realized that's delicious, that perhaps I'm going to have a problem all year now because I keep chasing them out of here. I keep having to pick them up and put them outside of the garden wall. So I still think my fishing line idea might be the best thing I can do. I can't relocate the garden. This is where we're at. It's not moving. So if you guys have done anything to avoid birds coming in, I would love some ideas. Maybe even instead of putting the row cover over during the summer, I do have some. Let me show you. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Okay, so what I'm talking about is this. We had used this on the chicken tractor that I built in Wisconsin. It was just PVC pipes, and then I put this all over the top, and I did chicken wire on the sides, and it worked out really great. I have a different idea for the chicken tractor here on the farm, so I kind of have this laying around. So as you can see, it's pretty see-through. It's plastic. It's kind of heavy duty. It'll certainly bend. I'm wondering if this would work during the summer. I did want to have the ability to row cover every single bed that we've got. We're adding another 5, and I'd like more. I have to say, I'm enjoying the raised beds. I'm thinking about as we get older, as far as I'm concerned, the raised beds are easier to tend. So even though we are going to have a row garden going further out and eventually 1 or 2 greenhouses even further out, I would like to make the raised beds more and more as we go on. I really like that way of gardening for me. It's different for everybody, but I enjoy it a lot. It's easier to weed, and I also think easier to protect, if need be, from certain chickens that like to come in and munch on the food. So let me know if anybody's used anything like this during the summertime over your crops, if that helped you. I realize they can still go in the sides because they have. Here, when I tried to protect the kale that they've decided to munch on again. Oh, you chickens, you are just on my list today. It's been quite something. Well, there's always something going on, and there are times that all of you guys know, and if you're not homesteading yet, there are times that you just feel like, what the heck? I'm trying so hard and it's not going well. But then you take a look and you see that amongst the devastation, there is still growth. You all remember this Swiss chard, right? This is the April Swiss chard. I cannot say enough. This is the Rainbow Lights, I believe, Swiss chard. Look at this. It's just a workhorse. It is so hardy. It's been through the worms. We've had a couple of nights in the 20s, and it's thriving from April. So I think sometimes when I look at things as a fail with the chickens, why didn't I see it coming? Why wasn't I prepared? I'm sure I read a book that told me about it somewhere. You just can't be on top of all of it every second, especially when we did the typical thing of doing more, biting off more than we could chew, and that's okay. It just is what it is, and it's kind of how we function anyway. And you can't look at all the fails as a terrible thing. You have to look at them as a learning venue. And it did get to me this week, but I do look at it now and say, okay, chickens have found a buffet, and we're just going to let them know it's closed, and we're going to figure out how to fix that. But in the meantime, we look at the abundance, and we remind ourselves why we're doing this, and that it's okay. The failures just make us stronger for it, don't they? I think so. You can see the asparagus behind me. Excuse me, I need to go get a chicken out of the garden.